What's up, metalheads? My name's Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel, and welcome to another episode of Versus. If you're new, please consider subscribing, and if you enjoy this video, hit that like button for me. We're going to be putting the Ritter Hogue RSK up against the Benchmade Griptilian. Two very, very similar knives. Doug Ritter is the designer of the RSK. Mel Pardue is the designer of the Griptilian, but there's clearly a lot of similarities between these knives. Doug Ritter once worked for Griptilian. Something went down there, and he took this design to Hogue, who makes the RSK, by the way. And but I don't know that whole story. I don't know what happened there. If anybody would like to fill me in the comments, I would appreciate it. Let me know what went down, or point me to a link somewhere that will tell me the story, because I'd love to know, because it's I'm also curious how he's able to make this knife, because it's so similar, man. This is so similar. You don't want to accuse somebody of copying something else, but it's hard not to look at these two knives and say, you know, one looks like the other. From my research, the Griptilian came out in, I think it was 2001, and the original RSK came out in 2004, I believe. So the Benchmade Griptilian came first from everything I have been able to find online, and yeah, it's odd that there's not lawsuits involved. Is kind of what I'm saying, because obviously this one has the hole, but most of the Griptilians have thumb studs just like the RSK. So this is just the one I happen to have here. By the way, both of these knives are Craig's. I will link him in the description below. Give him a follow on Instagram. Great dude, great dude. Some amazing knives. And he's picked up a couple more recently that are just, wow. That's all I'm going to tell you is wow. One of these days in the future, I may get a couple of these in hand, and I'm excited about that. So I don't want to give anything away, but you'll probably see some pictures on Instagram. You won't know which ones I'm talking about, though. All right, let's jump into these two knives real quick and go over the specs, and then I will talk about my thoughts on each and which one I prefer. Both of these are 20 CV. You can only get the RSK in 20 CV. There are many different variations of the Griptilian. You can get it in S30 and other stills and different handle colors and materials. The RSK is the RSK, although they do make like some different G10 versions, like colored G10 blue, and kind of like a, it looks kind of like, it's like G-Mascus, I guess you would call it. A lot of different colors, but everything that I see, all the blades are 20 CV. The overall length of the Griptilian is, oh, I thought I had that open already. I guess not. 8.07 inches, and the overall length of the RSK is 8.15 inches. So it's like less than 1/10 of an inch longer than the Griptilian. So very similar there. Blade length on the RSK is 3.44 inches. Blade length on the Griptilian is 3.45 inches. Claimed HRC on the Griptilian is 59 to 61, and on the RSK it's 61 to 62. So it's definitely going to win there. The weight on the RSK is 4.5 ounces, and the weight on the Griptilian is 4.17 ounces. So the Griptilian is slightly lighter, but not enough you're really even going to notice. They are both riding on phosphorus bronze washers. Both have deep carry pocket clips that are reversible. Even the pocket clip placement looks pretty much the same. The pocket clips are very similar. And you know, when you look at where you can reverse it for lefties, very, very similar. Everything about these knives is very, very similar, other than the action. Although they both have good action. Benchmade is the OG of the axis lock, and they call this their axis lock. Doug Ritter is calling this the Able lock, and works very well. As far as ergos, let's go ergos first. Ergos are almost the same. I mean, but I'm going to give an edge to the RSK. They both feel great in hand, but what's giving the RSK the edge, this sunburst milling he's done on the G10, not only does it look good, it provides a lot of traction. This thing is super grippy, but not in an uncomfortable way. Everywhere your fingers land, you just feel like you've got traction on this scale. Very, very, very good traction. The Griptilian has decent traction too, with the way they've done this like diamond pattern milling here. You get a little bit of traction, but not as much as the RSK. As far as ergos go, they both feel pretty much the same in hand, guys. Other than that, they feel like the same knife. They really do. Very, very similar. It almost looks like you could swap the scales between the two. They're so close. There are slight variations, obviously, but only slight, very slight variations. Yeah, I would love to know the story behind these two knives, or behind Doug Ritter making this knife with Hogue, and Benchmade allowing it. They're basically allowing it. I know the axis lock, the patent ran out, but it's one thing to use that. That's fine. But the actual shape of the knife, especially when you look at the Griptilian with the thumb studs, has more of a drop point blade like the Ritter. I'm going to call it the Ritter Hogue from now on, because that's what everybody knows these knives as, the Ritter Hogue. Action. Now, I know I'm comparing a hole to thumb studs, but so there is differences here. I'm feeling the pivot right now. That's what I'm trying to feel. How smooth it is on the open and the close. The Griptilian is extremely glassy smooth on the open. Glassy smooth on the close also. The axis lock feels pretty good pulling it. The Ritter Hogue is even smoother on the open and the close. It feels like it's a more free knife. Yeah, it feels better, guys. This one feels better. Not only that, but the actual tabs on the axis lock. If you look at the Griptilian, see how it barely sticks up above the scales, but they've done like this little pyramid, well, circle pyramid or step up to a finer point at the top, and you can grab it okay. I don't have any problems grabbing it. It can feel, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. But if you look at the way Hogue has done this one on the RSK, they've left much more sharp edges on there, where these are more smooth edges. There's no, like on a fuller, when it's too slick, you feel like you can slide off, and then you get a fuller that they left edge sharp and your finger just grips it. That's how these thumb studs feel on the RSK. They're not, or these, the Able Lock, the tabs feel. They don't hurt at all. Don't take that the wrong way. But you just, when you grab these, you feel that you got them. You're not going to lose them. The way they've milled them out just provides so much traction. As far as the springs go, yeah, the axis lock is really good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the axis lock here. It's good. It's really good. But these springs feel stronger. Like when I pull back on them and when I let off, I can feel how the springs are pushing the lock back forward. It's stronger on this knife. And it just makes it feels better to me. Yeah, this knife has better action. It really does, which is saying something considering Benchmade is the OG of this style locking system. The whole style of this knife. This is basically a Griptilian, guys. I know somebody out there is going to complain and disagree with me. This knife is basically a Benchmade Griptilian. I mean, even look at the screws, guys. Look at the screw pattern on these two knives. Slightly different here. These are. This side doesn't have screws. It has like sleeves. You get screws in every point on here, but even the screw locations, very similar. Everything about these knives are very similar. If I had the Griptilian with thumb studs, you'd see even more how similar they are, even more. Extremely similar to each other. Both are fantastic knives. Both are fantastic. The Hogue is a little thicker, I do want to point out. Let's see the best way to show this. Well, both knives have really contoured scales, so it's going to be hard for me to show you the middle, but you can see even here at the butt of the knives, the Hogue is a little bit thicker, and it's even thicker in the middle, which makes it more hand-feeling, although the Griptilian is very hand-feeling also. They both feel really good in hand. This just feels better in hand. let's check out this jimping here. This jimping on the spine of the blade on the Griptilian is better than the jimping on the RSK, but this jimping back here by the lock on the liners is better on the RSK than the Griptilian. Provides more traction. Yeah, I can't pick a winner, but I guess I can pick a winner. I'm picking a winner, and it surprised me that I'm picking this winner. I thought for sure the Griptilian would win this contest, but this action on this RSK is just, it's better. And now I'm not saying the Griptilian's bad, so don't take that wrong. The Griptilian's great. This is just a little bit better. It just really is. It's better ergonomically. It provides, it's grippier, and it has better action than the Griptilian. So, yeah. I'm going to have to give it to the Ritter Hogue, and just so you know, this is actually called the RSK, too many letters and numbers, RSK MK1-G2. And you can only buy these at KnifeWorks, and the mini Ritter Hogues. They're only sold at KnifeWorks. This is just a Griptilian. There's lots of different Griptilians, and most online stores sell the Griptilian, so you have no problem finding it. But the only place you can buy these new is from knifeworks.com. So he's got Doug Ritter has some kind of deal worked out with them to where they're the only ones that can sell his knives. So they're doing a great job. Both of these knives are made in the USA, and they are affordable. This knife is $170 new. Which is not bad for a made in the USA knife with 20 CV. The Griptilian can vary depending on which one you pick, from like 150 up to 200 or more. I think this one was originally $165, so it's like $5 cheaper than that. But yeah, it depends. Look around. You can find these at on different websites for different prices. The Griptilian anyway. The only place you'll find these is KnifeWorks, and which kind of filters out the competition, I guess, between websites and distributors. Two very cool knives, two very cool made in America knives, and in my opinion, Doug Ritter has beat out the Griptilian, just ever so slightly. It's not. This isn't a bad defeat. It's not like he destroyed this and this is a terrible knife. It's very close because they are so similar, such similar knives, but the action's slightly better on this. The ergos are slightly better on this. The traction is slightly better on this. So I'm going to give it to the Ritter Hogue. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you own these knives, both of these knives, which one do you like better? I know a lot of people probably own both of these knives, two very popular models. And does anyone else out there prefer the RSK over the Griptilian, or is it just me? Comment below and let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.